Yeah, the geeks are in the house at 7:13 on this Wednesday. The Apple Worldwide Developers Conference. So today, everything about Apple. Where do we start?
Well, we'll start with the iPad Pro. Okay. Now, there were a lot of news coverage last year that iPad sales are down, even though they're selling millions of them. And are they really committed to the platform? Well, they proved last week that they are, announcing the new iPad Pro. It's a 10.5 screen, which is somewhere between the 9.7 and the 12-inch, cafeteria tray. Okay. But it's basically actually overpowered for what you can do with an iPad. They're basically saying this is the future of computing. You might not need a laptop someday. Basically, the market these days is between the Microsoft Surface, which is the hybrid, and the iPad Pro. But with this device, they're bumping up the resolution, the refresh rate to 120 hertz. They're calling it Pro Motion. It's almost like smooth paper when you're using the pencil for drawing and things like that. And with iOS 11 coming out later this year, they're doing more multitasking, drag and dropping. So really, this is their volley saying we're still in the iPad game and we're going up against the Surface, but it's $649. So if you want a regular iPad, they just announced the cheaper one at $329. But if you want to go Pro, it starts at $600.
Okay, and the other arena in which they're now competing is the home. What do you call those things?
Well, they're like home assistants.
Home assistants, yeah, okay.
And everybody's been looking at Apple to come out with sort of a new device in a new category. Right. So their HomePod is really going to be competing against the Amazon Echo and Google Home. And this is a device that's, as you described it, like a 7-inch kind of like ball of string.
Ball of twine, yeah, a ball of string. Or some people, let's say it looks like a toilet paper, Charmin, or something like that.
Well, it's integrated. It's integrated with Siri. Right. So there's a lot of hope where if you are able to have these home assistants be able to drive certain things like your home devices, whether it's lights or locks or what have you. But what they've actually said at the keynote was that it's primarily a souped-up speaker. So what people are kind of waiting for is it's going to roll out initially as a speaker. It's going to be a smart speaker. It's going to be tied to Apple Music. So there's going to be a lot of great songs that you can play on it. But people are hopeful that with the Siri integration, that later on there's going to be some more interesting things.
So we're just kind of at the beginning.
We're
of
at the very beginning
with these home assistants. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about AR. Now you probably know what VR is, virtual reality. But my question before we went on the air to Ryan was, what's the difference between virtual reality and augmented reality?
Well, virtual reality is a completely created world. You've got those goggles, you're fully there, but you can't see the person standing in front of you. Right. Augmented reality is like Pokemon Go, where it uses the camera, but it can overlay things on top of it in your world. So already people are using this. It's called ARKit. In terms of people waiting for Apple to do something in a space, VR and AR, there's been a vacuum from Apple, and I think now they're saying, okay, we've got this tool, it's available to all our developers, so you can build games, you can build utilities, where you could point it down a street and you could put things on that road or on the buildings or in the sky, and it's built into the system so it can automatically do motion tracking, and you can do some pretty cool stuff.
Okay, so gaming, I understand that, but then okay, I'm looking down the street. Well, I have the names of the restaurants maybe.
That's one good example,
yeah,
absolutely.
Give me the menus for each and the ratings for each perhaps, as I'm looking down the street.
Yeah, a lot of people are excited about real estate. You can immediately put a couch in your living room that wasn't there and see how it looks in that space.
Okay, and you're on the radio tonight.
Well, so we're going to be sort of revisiting the whole concept of king tides. We're hearing a lot more about it. And the group that we're having come on are from University of Hawaii, and we're talking about sort of the citizen science element of it. How can citizens contribute to what people are observing in terms of king tides, and the sea level rise?
And that's at 6:30 tonight?
That's right, 6:30 tonight, HPR1.
Okay, Ryan and Burt, thanks very much. The Geeks in the house every couple of weeks on Sunrise. We'll take a break. Be back with more in just a moment. Don't go away.
Yeah. Look at that handsome cameraman.